In a quiet village nestled deep in the woods, a young girl named Alara lived with her struggling parents. They had longed for more children, but infertility left them desperate and broken. Whispers of their shame spread, and with no hope in sight, they faced a cruel decision. At just 8 years old, Alara's life was about to change forever. Her innocent laughter faded as her parents, driven by poverty and despair, considered selling her to survive. 2. One stormy evening, a shadowy figure arrived at their door, a merchant known for trading in lives. Alara's mother wept silently, clutching her daughter's small hand, while her father negotiated a price. The merchant's cold eyes assessed Alara, seeing only profit. For a handful of coins, they handed her over, her cries echoing into the night. The village turned a blind eye, too burdened by their own hardships to intervene. 3. Alara was taken to a distant market, her wrists bound with rough rope. The merchant paraded her before potential buyers, each face more indifferent than the last. She felt like a possession, her spirit dimming with every step. Yet, deep inside, a flicker of hope remained. Perhaps someone would see her as more than a commodity. The rain poured, mirroring the tears she fought to hide as she stood on display. 4. Days turned into a blur as Alara was passed from one cruel hand to another. Her new owner was a harsh woman who forced her to toil endlessly. Alara scrubbed floors and carried heavy loads, her small frame trembling under the weight. Nights were spent in a cold cellar, where she dreamed of freedom. Her heart ached for the warmth of her old home, now lost to her forever. 5. Word of the merchant's trade reached the ears of a lonely lumberjack named Thomas. Living in a rugged cabin with his 4 children, he had lost his wife years ago. The children, Liam, Sophie, Noah, and little Mia, missed their mother's love. Thomas, a gruff but kind man, worked tirelessly to provide, yet the house felt empty. One day, a traveler spoke of a girl sold unjustly, sparking his curiosity. 6. Thomas couldn't shake the story from his mind. His own children's loneliness mirrored the girl's plight. With determination, he set out to find her, leaving his axe behind. The forest path was treacherous, but his resolve grew with each step. He vowed to bring her home, imagining her as a sister for his kids. The thought of her suffering fueled his journey through the dense, shadowy woods. 7. After days of searching, Thomas reached the market town. He spotted Alara, her eyes downcast, standing in the rain. The merchant haggled with a buyer, unaware of Thomas's approach. With a steady voice, he offered his savings, every coin he'd earned from years of labor. The merchant, greedy and uncaring, accepted, handing Alara over without a second thought. Thomas untied her, offering a gentle smile. 8. Alara looked up, unsure of this stranger's intent. His rough hands were kind as he wrapped a cloak around her shivering form. "You're safe now," he said softly. She followed him, her trust fragile but growing. The journey back was silent, save for the rustling leaves. Thomas's heart swelled with hope, knowing his children would welcome her. Alara felt a spark of belonging for the first time. 9. As they neared the cabin, the sound of children's voices carried through the trees. Liam, the eldest at 12, spotted them first. "Who's that?" he asked, his curiosity piqued. Sophie, 10, ran to Alara, offering a shy smile. Noah, 8, and Mia, 6, joined, their eyes wide with wonder. Thomas introduced her as their new sister, and the children's faces lit up with excitement. 10. Inside the warm cabin, Alara was given a seat by the fire. Mia handed her a worn doll, a treasured gift. Liam showed her his carved wooden toys, proud of his work. Sophie offered a bowl of stew, her cooking a labor of love. Noah chattered about the forest, eager to share his adventures. For the first time, Alara felt a family's embrace, her fears slowly melting away. 11. Thomas watched his children bond with Alara, his heart full. He explained her story gently, omitting the pain. The kids listened, their young minds grappling with the injustice. "She's one of us now," Thomas declared, and they nodded in agreement. Alara's eyes filled with tears, but this time, they were of gratitude. The cabin, once lonely, buzzed with new life. 12. Days turned to weeks, and Alara settled into her new home. She helped Sophie with chores, learning to knead dough. Liam taught her to whittle, her first carving a clumsy bird. Noah showed her the best spots to gather berries, and Mia clung to her side. Thomas smiled, seeing his family grow stronger. Alara's laughter filled the air, a sound they all cherished. 13. One evening, Thomas gathered the children around the fire. He spoke of their mother, her love a guiding light. Alara listened, feeling connected to this lost woman. He handed her a locket, a keepsake for her new role. "You're part of us," he said, and the children cheered. Alara clutched the locket, a symbol of her new beginning. 14. The village soon learned of Alara's rescue. Whispers turned to admiration for Thomas's bravery. Some brought gifts, blankets, food, and toys, for the growing family. Others apologized, ashamed of their silence. Alara's parents, hearing the news, sent a letter begging forgiveness. Thomas read it aloud, but Alara shook her head, choosing her new family over the past. 15. Winter came, blanketing the forest in snow. Alara and the children built a snowman, their laughter echoing. Thomas chopped wood, his strength a comfort to all. Inside, they sang songs, Alara's voice blending with theirs. The cabin glowed with warmth, a stark contrast to her old life. She felt truly home, surrounded by love. 16. As months passed, Alara's confidence grew. She helped plant a garden with Sophie, their hands caked with soil. Liam crafted a swing for her, hung from the old oak. Noah and Mia taught her forest games, her steps light with joy. Thomas watched, proud of his decision. Alara was no longer a burden but a blessing to them all. 17. One spring day, a traveler stopped by, marveling at the happy family. He spread their story far and wide, calling Thomas a hero. Alara beamed, no longer the girl sold for coins. The children played, their bond unbreakable. Thomas ruffled her hair, his gruff voice soft. "You saved us too," he said, and she smiled, knowing it was true. 18. Alara's past faded like a distant dream. She wrote letters to herself, locking away the pain. The locket became her talisman, a reminder of love. The children grew, their lives enriched by her presence. Thomas aged gracefully, his heart lighter. The cabin stood as a testament to their resilience, a home built on compassion. 19. One summer, they held a celebration. Neighbors joined, bringing music and food. Alara danced with Mia, her steps sure. Liam played the fiddle, his talent shining. Sophie and Noah served treats, their pride evident. Thomas watched, his eyes misty. This was the family he dreamed of, made whole by Alara's arrival. 20. Years later, Alara stood tall, a young woman of 16. She helped Thomas with the lumber, her strength surprising. Liam had become a skilled carpenter, Sophie a cook. Noah explored the woods, and Mia painted their world. Thomas leaned on his axe, content. Alara's journey had shaped them all, a story of redemption. 21. One day, a letter arrived from the merchant, now reformed. He sought forgiveness, offering restitution. Alara read it, her heart steady. She forgave him, her spirit healed. Thomas nodded, proud of her grace. The children cheered, their trust in her unwavering. The past no longer held power over her. 22. The family expanded their cabin, adding rooms for growth. Alara designed a window, letting light flood in. Liam built the frame, his hands steady. Sophie planted flowers, their colors vibrant. Noah and Mia decorated, their laughter bright. Thomas oversaw it all, his legacy secure. Alara felt the weight of her new role. 23. As seasons changed, Alara's story inspired others. Travelers sought Thomas's wisdom, leaving gifts. The village thrived, its shame forgotten. Alara taught the children, her lessons of kindness. Thomas smiled, his life's work complete. The forest echoed with their joy, a harmony of healing. 24. One autumn, Alara found an old photo of her birth parents. She showed it to Thomas, her eyes questioning. He held her hand, offering silence. She decided to keep it, a piece of her history. The children gathered, their support strong. Thomas nodded, respecting her choice. Her past and present merged peacefully. 25. Winter brought a harsh storm, testing their bond. Alara led the children to safety, her courage shining. Thomas secured the cabin, his strength unwavering. They huddled by the fire, sharing stories. Alara's voice steadied them, a beacon of hope. The storm passed, leaving their love intact. 26. As years rolled on, Alara became a storyteller. She shared her tale with visitors, her words moving. Thomas listened, his pride evident. The children, now grown, carried her legacy. The cabin stood as a beacon, drawing others. Alara's journey inspired a community, her heart full. 27. On a quiet evening, Thomas passed the locket to Alara. "It's yours now," he said, his voice weak. She held it, tears falling. The children gathered, their grief shared. Thomas smiled, his life complete. Alara vowed to honor him, her family's foundation. The forest whispered their story. 28. Decades later, Alara stood on the porch, now gray-haired. Her children and grandchildren played below. The cabin, weathered but strong, held their history. She wore the locket, a symbol of love. The forest thrived, echoing their laughter. Alara's life, once sold, was now a testament to resilience and family.